Hey guys, and welcome back to Anime Recap Pro. Last time in the Shield Hero, we left off as Naofumi found himself in yet another royal plot to bring him down. Will the royals win this time, or will Naofumi Hulk out the anime style and activate his cursed shield? Stay tuned to find out. Also, if you haven't watched Part 1, please watch it before continuing. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We appreciate your support, and it gives us the drive to continue making these videos. And without any other delays, let's get started. One of Melty's guards attempted to kill her. Naofumi noticed this and saved her. When the approaching knights see Naofumi defending Melty, they accuse him of holding her prisoner, but are repelled. Wizards at the royal palace alter the video of Naofumi kidnapping Melty, turning him into a wanted person. Naofumi's team hikes through the mountains to go to a nearby Sylvet to protect Melty to fix their predicament. The other three heroes and adjacent guards are informed of loose rock at night. Melty commands them to ignore Melty as she tries to explain the problem, stating Naofumi has a brainwashed shield, despite the absence of supporting proof. The heroes fall for this. Motoyasu stops Philo with a magic shackle while Naofumi tries to flee with Melty. Itsuki and Ren start to have doubts about Mine as she openly attacks without regard for Melty's safety after Naofumi resorts to using his rage shield to flee. Ren receives a church pendant from Naofumi, who then requests an investigation before leaving. One of Morelia's emissaries aids in fleeing Philo from his restraint and communicates with Morelia's desire to see Naofumi. Naofumi identifies the emissary as the woman who forewarned him about the church. However, Naofumi decides to continue traveling in the direction of Sylvet because encountering Morelia will send them in an opposite direction. Mine starts a forest fire in the meantime to drive Naofumi away. Due to the fire, they are forced to go and visit Morelia. On the way, they encounter an evil lord who imprisoned and tormented Raphthalia when she was young. Raphthalia defeats, but in doing so, releases an evil Tyrannosaurus-like dragon monster that had been imprisoned in the courtyard. They can lure from the town into the beach of the lake. They attempt to fight it, but it overpowers them. As they are about to be killed, a huge Philolyle shows up and instantly decimates the dragon-like monster. The giant bird changes into a little girl and introduces herself as Vittoria, queen of the Philolyle queen. She takes them to her castle where she spars with Philo. Philo narrowly wins the fight despite being outmatched by scratching the queen's defense. Philo is then crowned as her successor, and they celebrate. In the party, Vittoria warns Naofumi that if he doesn't reconcile with the other heroes and work together to defeat the waves, she will be forced to kill them all and summon a new batch of cardinal heroes. The following morning, they are teleported near the spear hero, so Naofumi can begin reconciliations. When Motoyasu and his group notice Naofumi, they immediately engage in an entire battle with Naofumi's side, ultimately triumphing despite the significant differences. When a massive ray of light threatens them from above, Philo persuades Naofumi to use several shields to protect themselves before the threat arrives and destroys everything in its path. The attack was launched by Pope Balmas and his adherents, revealing that he had ordered the murder of Ren and Itsuki as part of his plot to assassinate the princess and the false heroes to destroy the monarchy. Then Pope Balmas prepares to assault both parties by drawing a magical sword. Melty notices that Pope Balmas is using an allegedly lost weapon that is a copy of all four cardinal weapons. The weapon's defenses are too strong for Naofumi and Motoyasu to overcome because hundreds of Balmas' supporters power it. Just after that, Ren and Itsuki get up to offer assistance and say that Morelia's elite shadow warriors saved them. They also make known that an army, personally headed by Morelia, is on its way to conquer the church, which had resisted giving up. While the heroes band together to attack the Pope, Naofumi declines because they cause harm, outlining their effects, lack of coordination, and the steps that he has to take to fix them. Naofumi reveals that because they don't know how to act like heroes and properly tidy up, the church thought they were fakes and plotted a revolution. Taking advantage of their conversation, the Pope launches an attack, which Naofumi successfully parries. Naofumi compares to the other heroes to the Pope, but only chooses to collaborate with them because he owes Vittoria that. Pope Balmas reacts by surrounding the battlefield with a magical cathedral as the four cardinal heroes unite in defense. The four heroes cannot overcome Balmas's cathedral spell, and Naofumi discovers that the cathedral significantly reduces the curse effect of his rage shield. By draining more mana from his troops to fuel a more powerful strike, Pope Balmas puts their lives in peril. Naofumi risks losing the dragon soul he had been holding in his rage shield to block it. Raphthalia, Philo, and Melty pull him out while donning new berserker armor and battling to maintain control despite being scorched by the cursed flames. A concentrated Naofumi blocks Balmas's attack attack, and the loss of several of his companions stops him from rapidly recovering mana. Naofumi charges at Philo, igniting Balmas as the other three heroes plan an assault to breach Balmas' defenses. Balmas employs a sophisticated counter ability and comes close to winning before Queen Morelia's army joins them. Naofumi takes advantage of the chance, kills Balmas, and destroys his replica weapon using his blood sacrifice power, which necessitates a significant amount of his blood. She formally reveals to herself to the heroes and pledges to preserve the dying Naofumi's life while Morelia's army arrests the Pope's adherents. After Naofumi has spent 3 days recuperating, Queen Morelia apologizes for all of the problems of the church and the three heroes, Mine and Oldcray, have caused him. She says that she could not attend because of the chaos that their summoning all 4 heroes caused, because they had initially intended to have a hero summoned by a different country to battle the waves worldwide. The following day, she overthrows Oldcray and tattoos Mine with a slave symbol, compelling her to admit her wrongdoings. Mine and Oldcray's royal privileges are taken away by Morelia for their crimes, and she also sentences them to death. However, just as they are about to be put to death, Naofumi interrupts the execution and suggests that death is way too easy. He suggests that both Mine and Oldcray should be spared, but have their names officially changed to bitch, whore, and trash, respectively, and mandating that all citizens not address them otherwise. The ancient religion, which revered all 4 heroes, will then be restored, the queen says, and the church of the 3 heroes will be destroyed. Melty then bid Naofumi's group goodbye before deciding to stay on the castle and serve as a princess while they battle the waves. After they go, Morelia tells Melty that if Naofumi hadn't stepped in on his own, she would have sacrificed herself to assuage public sentiment and halt the execution. The Melremark residents bid the Shield Party farewell as they leave the city, and Naofumi formally accepts his position as the Shield hero. Raphtalia and Philo cannot receive their class up upgrades when Raphtalia and Naofumi's party travel to the Dragon Hourglass to perform the ritual. Morelia then surmises that Victoria's protection is interfering in some way, exposing her as Philolile Otaku. The 4 heroes meet secretly during a feast as Raphtalia meets Mald, a drunken member of the Bow Party, for insulting Naofumi, sparking a fight between the hero groups. Bitch, Mine, tries to poison Raphtalia and Philo's food, but Milty stops him. During the discussion, Morelia alerts the heroes to the approaching special Kalmira Archipelago event, where everyone will receive bonus points, enabling them to level up ahead of the following wave. The heroes explain the personal capabilities of their weapons, such as a unique weapon copy system, to aid one another. Naofumi leaves indignant as they degenerate into a debate over whether the approach to power leveling is superior. The following day, Naofumi duplicates every shield Erhard used before going to Raphtalia's deserted town to honor Rufana's tomb. Naofumi briefly encounters a pair of travelers as he considers one day reconstructing the village. Naofumi boards the vessel bound for Kalmira the following morning. La'Arc Berg and Therese Alexandrite must share a room with Naofumi's group of passengers because the other heroes grabbed most of the ship's accommodations. After hearing about the evil shield hero, La'Arc and Therese assume Naofumi's name as an alias when they introduce themselves. As the other hero parties recuperate from seasickness, Governor Habenberg takes Naofumi's group to the resort inn once the heroes reach Kalmira. Naofumi takes his group on an XP grind around the archipelago while learning new boosting spell and crafting fresh weapons from monsters for Raphtalia and Philo. A worried La'Arc and Therese locate Naofumi's gathering at the night and bring the guests to a celebration at a diner to cap the day. Therese asks Naofumi for an accessory, and to her delight, he creates a stunning piece using a priceless jewel. The next day, while working with La'Arc and Therese to gain experience, Naofumi discovers that Therese's magic flames may truly heal him when he is enveloped. By dusk, the two say goodbye, thanking Naofumi for the day and express their desire to reconnect soon. While Naofumi's party is unwinding at the beach, Philo finds an undersea temple, which piques Naofumi's interest in exploring. Naofumi's shield unlocks the door when he arrives, revealing a dragon hourglass. By connecting to it, he discovers the next wave is scheduled to arrive in Kalmira in 48 hours. After learning about the wave, Naofumi alerts Morelia, who gathers a sizable naval force and sends La'Arc and Therese along with the fleet to the waves. The 4 heroes battle the boss monster while the fleet battles the smaller monsters, but they are unable to do much damage to it, and La'Arc and Therese are eventually responsible for its demise. After claiming they are from yet another world under the wave's sway, La'Arc and Therese attack the heroes. They must murder the 4 heroes to save their homeworld. Only Naofumi's party is left to fight them after La'Arc quickly dispatches the other 3 heroes, and Therese repels the fleet. La'Arc and Therese had the upper hand, repelling Raphtalia and Philo's assaults while partially getting past past Naofumi's barriers. The fight is then interrupted by Melty, whose presence lends magical assistance and aids Naofumi in maintaining her focus. Lark is wounded as Naofumi's party outsmarts Therese and Lark through cunning tactics, but suddenly Glass appears, indicating that she is an ally of Therese and Lark. Naofumi has become stronger since their previous encounter, and Glass is impressed as he gets ready to fight him again. In a single one-on-one battle with Glass, Naofumi reveals that she is the fan hero, a hero from Lark's homeworld. When Naofumi notices that Glass is vulnerable to his Soul Eater shield, she hesitates before killing her because he understands that she is attempting to defend her world. Raphtalia steps in at that point to remind Naofumi that there are lots of people in the world who need his protection. Rashia Ivyred, a newcomer to the bow party, is located by Morelia, who instructs her to launch liquor barrels toward Glass. The strong alcohol quickly makes Glass drunk, so Lark and Therese are forced to assist her in leaving as the wave's time limit approaches. Naofumi considers Fedoria's remarks as she returns to Kalmira and learns that the other worlds are battling the waves. Rashia, who had attempted to suicide by drowning and being expelled from Itsuki's party owing to a false accusation against her, is also enlisted into his group. Naofumi accepts Morelia's reward after returning to the mainland, the Lordship of Seate, together with the help of those he can trust to reconstruct the island. Well, that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe.